there, everybody. I am King 5 meteorologist Leah Pezzetti. It is Sunday evening. We are live right now at 8 p.m. streaming on King 5 Plus with an in-depth look at what is heading our way this week. We have potentially impactful weather that is arriving in Western Washington and the entire Pacific Northwest. So we're going to take the next half hour and unpack it all and get you going for the week. Every single day will bring a new reality across Western Washington. So I'm going to walk you through it all. And also, I want to say that because we are live right now, I want to take your questions live. If you have any questions about history, context, forecast, specific areas, please, I want to know what your questions are. You can actually text those in live right now. We're also live on Facebook, so you can comment those questions. But this is the phone number. We have our digital producer, Jake, is watching our phone line right now. You can text in 206-448-4545. If you have any questions along the way, I want to hear them. I'll answer them live, and we'll make sure everybody is ready to go as we head into this week. So let us dive right in, shall we? All right, so one more time, 206-448-4545. That is what you can text if you have any questions. So we are heading into multiple first alert weather days. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, our King 5 weather team has called for first alert weather days. This just means these are days we are watching because we think it could impact your day. For Monday, for tomorrow, this is day one, and arguably most widespread impacts. This is the day that everybody is going to be tapping into these impacts. We have heavy rain that is moving in for the lowlands and on top of the mountains as well. We're going to watch snow levels really picking up, so we're going to get rain on top of snow. Plus, it is going to be gusty out there. Gusty wind will pick up, especially in the afternoon and evening, and simultaneously, we're keeping an eye on higher tides because of a king tide event, so coastal flooding is expected as well. As we head into Tuesday, we are going to see rain dropping down to the south a little bit, but then it's going to increase back up into Washington into the afternoon and late night. Same thing with snow levels. They're rising, but actually Tuesday is when we're going to see the snow levels dropping down the lowest. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. And Tuesday is when we're really going to start to watch the potential for river flooding. That is one of the concerns that we're keeping an eye on across Western Washington. We know the drill. When we get significant rain in these wet months, we see our rivers rise, and we are watching those rivers on the rise the next couple of days. Wednesday is the day that we're kind of starting to taper off, but we're still going to see rain moving in. We're still going to keep an eye on river flooding, and we're still going to watch those snow levels on the rise. So a lot to unpack. We are going to dive into all of it. Here's a live look over Seattle on this Sunday evening. It's pretty mild out there. This is quite literally the calm before the storm. You can see some clouds moving through, but overall conditions are pretty mild. But if there are three words that I can impart on you that will describe the next couple of days, it's going to be wet, it's going to be windy, and it is going to be warm. Those are the three words. I want to quickly show you that warmth, what we're talking about. 50 degrees is where we're currently sitting in the Seattle metro area right now. We actually did break a record today, or tie a record, I should say, for just how warm we were in the Seattle metro area. 57 degrees was the tie for Seattle metro. That is the tie for the warmest December 7th we have seen on record. Ties 1938 when Seattle also saw a high of 57 degrees. So these temperatures are unseasonably warm for this time of the year. So as we head into the next couple of days, we're holding on to these warmer temperatures. Highs will be in the 50s, and you can see there, average highs are typically upper 40s, so well above average. Same thing for those lows. Typically, lows would be in the 30s, but we're looking at lows in the 40s, so it's relatively warmer. The wet weather has started to move in today. Today was a fairly wet day. Shelton has already seen more than an inch of rain. Olympia, more than an inch of rain. Tacoma, Seattle, just shy of half an inch of rain, but this wasn't even technically part of our atmospheric river. This is a loop of the last 18 hours. You can see that rain that moved in Sunday morning. It then fizzled out and has tapered off. So as of right now, we do still have a couple light showers down south. Olympia, Chehalis, you're seeing some rain right now, but we're going to tap into even more moisture. So we have a lot of watches, warnings, and advisories that have been issued from the National Weather Service. Part of the concern, like I said, the second word of the week is windy. We have wind advisories widespread across Western Washington and also into Eastern Washington and Northern Idaho, Montana, and Oregon as well. So a good chunk of the Northwest will be seeing windy conditions. I'll unpack that more in just a moment. But I also want to say the wet conditions are going to be another big story. Not only urban flooding, but also those rivers on the rise And when we see this much rain that is falling this fast, it increases that risk for debris flows. That's what happens when our ground gets saturated. Basically, things just can't grip on anymore, and we see debris flows. Those can cover roadways. We've seen that happen a lot here in our wet months in the Northwest. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on as we head into the next couple of days. I want to show you kind of a wide picture here of the next few days. This is what we're seeing as of tonight. A couple spotty showers are out and about, but really nothing to report tonight. This is tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. We start to see that heavy rain moving in along the coast first. It fills into Puget Sound, and then check out tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. Yeah, yellow, orange, and red indicating moderate to heavy rainfall across western Washington during our PM hours tomorrow, and it doesn't really let up until late in the evening. Then it takes a journey down south. This is Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. here, and Oregon is going to tap into the brunt of this moisture before it lifts back up into western Washington by Tuesday evening. So in western Washington, Tuesday morning is going to be our lull between wet weather patterns before it picks up again Tuesday evening. This is 5:30 p.m., but then it really starts to increase again as we head into Tuesday night. This is 10 p.m. what you're seeing here. I want to also point your attention to the mountains. Look at the purples and pinks that are out there. This is when we're going to see our snow levels dropping down to the lowest. So we actually could tap into a little bit of snow on Tuesday. Tuesday is our best shot at snow. We're going to see snow levels at 4,000 feet. So that does mean a good chunk of our resorts, Baker, Stevens Pass, could tap into some of that snow, especially for those higher runs, for those ski resorts. I know everybody is waiting for snow in the mountains. Tuesday is going to be our best shot, but then we see snow levels drop down, or increase, and we'll bring back rain into Wednesday. This is Wednesday morning. Here we go into Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. We're continuing with that rain. You see that heavier rain down to the south. So sticking with snow levels, oh gosh, this graphic is not loading. I'm sorry, everybody. But I can verbally tell you that what we're going to see for snow levels is we're going to see snow levels increasing tomorrow during the day up to about 7,000 feet at times. And then Tuesday is when we drop down to the lowest level, about 4,000, before we pick things back up into that 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 foot range. So that is what is heading our way as far as rain is or snow is concerned. But once again, that rain is going to be filling in during the day tomorrow. This is just a sneak peek of that closer look at the rain. I'm going to talk about that more in just a moment, but we are going to take a quick break. A reminder, I'm going to take a look at all your messages that you're sending in right now, but you can send in your questions at 206-448-4545. Please send them in right now. Also photos, videos. This is our text line where we hear from you. So I will put this out there right now and save it these next couple of days, because as we are keeping an eye on this active weather, we want to see what you're seeing in your neck of the woods. So if you are seeing any urban flooding, any rivers on the rise, any wind impacts, if trees should come down. We've been covering that a lot these last couple of weeks and months, is trees that are coming down. So that's definitely something we're concerned about. Power outages as well, because we're going to see this wet and windy weather picking up into tomorrow. Now, we're going to take a quick break. I want you to write in any questions you might have. Also, later on in the next half hour, I'm going to talk about atmospheric rivers. I know a lot of people have been asking, what is an atmospheric river? Why is this term kind of coming out of nowhere? So I want to unpack that, give you a little context, a little bit of history. So we're going to talk about all of that coming up in just a moment, but we'll take a quick break and be right back. All right, welcome back. We are taking the next half hour to talk about the weather the next couple of days. Thank you to everyone who's written in questions. A lot of really good questions are coming our way. Christina asked, when will the rain hit Tulalip and what will the wind looks like? We'll talk about that. We have a question from Grays Harbor. What time will the wind hit Grays Harbor? Grays Harbor, you are tapping into all of this first and arguably worst as well. So if you are in Grays Harbor, be ready for the next 24 to 36, 48 hours. You are really going to be seeing the impacts here. We'll talk about that. We have a question about flood watches as well. Someone said, hey, I got this flood watch alert on my phone. What does that mean? I'll show you that as well. It depends on where you are. The flood watches for anyone in metro areas, really, that just means that we could see urban flooding, so streets that have standing water, and that's always a good thing to keep in mind. Everyone should remember this. If you see standing water in a street, do not drive through it. You're going to want to, you never know what's in that water and how deep it is. So just always always a good reminder there. Flood watches, if you're near any rivers, that means the rivers are on the rise. And I'm going to talk about that in just a minute as well. And then someone else wrote in and asked, if we have these warm highs, does that mean no snow moving forward? So it's still early in the winter season. December is an impactful time. It's usually when we start to ramp up our snow. However, it is still early. January, February are really important months for snow as well. So hopefully, just because we have this wet and warm period right now does not foreshadow what is to come as we head into the next couple of months. But I want to get to all of these questions that we just had and show you exactly what we are expecting as far as the timing, the rain, the potential accumulations, and that wind as well. So let's dive right on in. So this is what we're looking at this evening, 8 p.m. here. It's just a couple spotty showers out and about. No big impacts to report right now. It's tomorrow that we're going to see it picking up. This is 8 a.m. So Grays Harbor, we had that question. You can see everywhere along the coast, the Olympic Peninsula, you're tapping into the precipitation first. Early in the morning is when it's going to start. By 8 a.m., we're seeing that fill in periods of moderate to heavy rainfall. And then that is going to fill into the rest of western Washington during the day. So this is noon. This is lunchtime tomorrow, especially down farther south. If you are south of Olympia, if you're on the Olympic Peninsula and south of Olympia, you are going to see the highest impacts as far as the rain accumulations are concerned. Now, I want to point something out for you. I'm going to try to draw with one of my drawing tools here, but y'all, I've tried to do this before and it doesn't always go well. So bear with me here, but I want to point something out to you. What do you notice right here? Can you see that where I just drew the arrows? I'm going to try one more time. Right here. I am noticing between Seattle to Everett, you are not going to tap into as much precipitation tomorrow as everybody else. That is what we call a rain shadow. Basically what happens is you have the Olympic Mountains and they essentially block the rain from hitting those areas. So take those out. You have the Olympics right here, okay? So when we see a storm that comes in from this direction, the Olympics block that rain. So that's why these areas are going to see lower rain totals. And in fact, you'll even have periods where it's not even raining tomorrow, but everyone else will be seeing a torrential downpour. So I do want to point that out for you. If you're in King County or even parts of Snohomish County tomorrow as well, we are not going to see quite as much rain there during the day because of that rain shadow effect. So now let's get you going to 6 p.m. That rain shadow is still in play, but we are still seeing that significant rain around the Olympic Peninsula down to the south as well. And then also it is starting to hook in up around Whatcom and Skagit counties as well. And then what do you notice there over the mountains? Yeah, it's rain on top of our mountains. Our snow levels by tomorrow evening are going to be up around 7,000 feet. So we are not looking at any snow chances for tomorrow, especially into the evening. Here we are at 11 p.m. So late tomorrow night, you can start to see it sagging down to the south. We're still holding on to rain over the mountains. And then actually we are going to start to see snow levels start to drop tomorrow night, but then we lose that precipitation completely to Oregon. And we actually see a little period of dry weather. This is Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. We're waking up to mostly dry weather north of King County. We do still hold on to that rain south. So if you're south of King County, you will still tap into some of that rain chance on Tuesday morning, but it's not until late Tuesday night that the rain returns. This is 7 p.m. Tuesday evening. We're seeing it fill in once again, and then it actually increases once again to that same veracity as Monday afternoon and Monday evening. It does that once again Tuesday night. So this is 10 p.m. here, and that is when we're going to once again tap into a lot of that more moderate to heavy rainfall. You still see that rain shadow set up between Seattle to Everett, so not as much rain there, but we're still seeing that heavier rain around the peninsula and down to the south. Now let's get you going into your Wednesday. Wednesday is when we're going to still hold on to rain chances, but start to let up our stress just a little bit. This is Wednesday morning, 6:30 a.m. Same thing, holding on to that precipitation down south, but then we're still going to see rain during the day on Wednesday, but at this point it's not looking quite as strong as what we saw on Monday. Okay, so that's rain and the timing of it. I want to show you expected accumulations. We had some questions about up to the north around Tulalip. Tulalip, you might be right on the edge of that rain shadow. So you actually could tap into lower rainfall totals. You see there, Everett, only half an inch is what this run is showing. And this is our graph that we're looking at here. If you know model runs, we have different runs that show different potential outcomes. I'm going with the graph here. But along the coast, 2 to 3 inches. South Sound, Shelton, Olympia, 2 to 3 inches. The mountains, 3 to 4 to 5 inches possible. Up to the north, though, that's where we see those lower rain totals. So north of King County, half an inch to an inch. So not quite as high up to the north. But once again, everybody, this is just one day of rain totals. This is 24 hours, Monday morning into Monday night. We are going to see the potential for 2 to 3 inches of rain in some parts of our lowlands. That's a lot of rain in one day. Now I want to take a step forward 24 hours after that as we head into Wednesday. We're doubling up. Look at that. Olympia, you could see 2-day rain totals surpassing 4 inches of rain. Shelton, right around there as well. Our mountains, look at that. Stevens Pass, upwards of 6 inches of rain expected for 2-day totals. So it is going to be wet, everybody. This is a lot of rain in a short period of time. That is why we're talking about that flooding potential. I want to talk about the wind, though, because this is another key part of the story. This is our Monday morning. So this is how we're starting the day tomorrow. You see that wind, it's moving from west and then kind of swoops in through Puget Sound from the south to the north. This is tomorrow morning and it's breezy out there. So 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts. These are our gusts, not sustained wind speeds. And once again, gusts are those kind of one-off gusts that we feel, not the ongoing wind. That's what we would call a sustained wind. A gust is once here, once there. But still, gusts can be impactful and gusts can be what take down trees. So it does look like we'll see breezy conditions in the morning, but I want to take you to the evening. This is when we really see that wind picking up. Actually, I'm going to backpedal just a little bit because I saw some darker colors. Yeah, look at this. Right around lunchtime, we had that question about Grays Harbor County. Look at that along the coast, 30, 40 mile per hour gusts around lunchtime. Then as we take a step into the evening, widespread 30, 40 mile per hour gusts are certainly possible. So it is definitely going to be blustery on Monday evening, along with, this is when we're going to see the heaviest of that rain. So it's going to be wet and it's going to be windy. Both of those are peaking simultaneously on Monday evening. That is what we call a high impact weather day. But it drops off pretty quickly. This is as we head into early morning, Tuesday morning. Yeah, you see how quickly it drops off. We still hold on to wind on the eastern slopes of the Cascades, Chelan, Wenatchee. You're still in that 30 to 40 mile per hour gust range. But western Washington, you're going to be done with the wind at that point. All right, so that's rain, that's wind. I want to talk about that flooding potential. This is a map here of the rivers that could potentially reach those flood stages. Let's unpack a lot of that. We have a listed out here of the potential for when we're going to see the highest of those river flooding levels. So major, that pink color is the highest. It's the worst we're expecting. It does look like the Skagit River near Mount Vernon and Concrete as well will reach major flood stage. Now this is, you can see beneath the numbers there, the 32, that's the foot height, so 32 feet. Below that is where we have the time of when it will reach that crest. So for Skagit River near Concrete, it's looking like at 10 a.m. on the 9th, and then Skagit River near Mount Vernon, it's looking at 4 a.m. on the 10th. So those days of the week, the 9th is Tuesday, the 10th is Wednesday. So that's kind of the trend we're seeing with these rivers rising is Tuesday into Wednesdays when they're going to hit that peak, because at that point, we've seen that significant rainfall. It's not going to be at the beginning because the rain has just started. Think of it like a cup. You put the water in, the more water you put in, the more it fills up. So the end of a rain event is typically when we see those rivers start to hit their peak and crest. Let's take a step forward, look at a couple other spots. All of these red areas are hitting moderate. So that's the Snohomish River at both Snohomish and also Monroe. We're also looking at the Tolt River near Carnation at moderate flood stage. Major flood stage is expected for the Skykomish River near Gold Bar, also the Snoqualmie River near both Carnation and also Snoqualmie Falls. So that is going to be, those are the rivers that we're keeping an eye on. Once again, we're looking at these hitting their crest. A lot of them are actually on the 9th. So that's Tuesday, and that's throughout the day, anywhere from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Tuesday. So we're really going to start to watch those rivers hitting their peak on Tuesday. And if you live in these areas, you know the drill. You know that these rivers often see the increase in the wet winter months. This is semi-normal. But I will say that Christian Balderas, our King 5 News reporter, he's actually working on a story for King 5 News tonight. We're looking at how people are preparing for this flooding. He went to Carnation today, because Carnation is one of those areas that, if you're seeing rivers on the rise, Carnation is likely on the list of one of those areas on alert. This is normal per se, but we went back and looked at 2023. If you remember, 2 years ago, actually exactly 2 years ago, on December 5th is what it was. This is December 7th today, so just a couple days off. We had an atmospheric river that brought rain to Western Washington. I was part of that coverage. I stood out in the pouring rain. I was at Snoqualmie Falls for a little bit, and I actually went to Carnation for a little bit as well. I looked at the data of the peak river flood stage that we hit in 2023 versus what we're expecting this week. We are a little bit actually above what we saw in 2023. So if you remember that flooding of 2023, if you're in one of those flood prone areas and you remember, oh yeah, it was bad, we're actually expecting some of these rivers to be a little bit worse than that. So take those lessons and find that preparedness, because that is what we are expecting as we head into the next couple of days. All right, we're going to take one more quick break. I do want to remind you one more time, if you have any questions, send them in right now. You can text them 206-448-4545. We're going to answer them. That was a look at the forecast. One more time, the 3 words: warm, that's impacting our snow levels; wet, that's impacting that flood potential; and windy, and that's going to impact everybody across Western Washington. Those are the 3 words the next couple of days. I want to talk about atmospheric rivers as a whole. I've had a lot of questions of, hey, Leah, what is an atmospheric river? Why is this term kind of coming out of nowhere? It actually kind of is. It's grown a lot in the last couple of years. So I do want to take some time after the break and unpack that. We'll talk a lot about the history, the context, and what scientists are trying to do with increasing knowledge and kind of standards for atmospheric rivers. So we'll talk about that after the break. Welcome back to our First Alert Weather live stream. Thank you for all your questions. You've been writing in great questions so far. We only have a couple minutes left, and I do want to explain an atmospheric river, so I'm going to try to get to a couple of these very quickly. We're going to rapid fire. Daryl was asking about Port Townsend flooding, so I do want to, bear with me here, let me pull up my graphics. Let's see here. I want to zoom in here, and let me try to get this going. We're going to zoom in and go up to our islands. I'm going to actually edit this graphic live with you here right now and show you. So this is the flood watch that we have issued. I'm going to toggle on a different alert. Let's see here. Not that one. Bear with me here. Oh, it is. Oh, there we go. Okay. Wind advisory. I'm going to toggle that one off as well. Let's see here. Flood, coastal flood. There we go. Okay. So these are areas that are actually going to be under a coastal flood advisory. So some of our islands are included in that. It's kind of western Whatcom, Skagit, and into Snohomish counties. These are more so because of the king tide event. So that is where we could see coastal flooding impacts. So Daryl, there's your answer there. We had a couple questions about wind in both Kittitas Valley and then also Enumclaw. I want to circle back to that wind graphic and a quick explanation. Oh my goodness, we're running out of time, people. So what I want to point out to you is that what you're seeing here with the wind is, oh, and I've just been told we have a couple extra minutes to answer all your questions. Perfect. Okay. So what I want to point out to you with the wind here is you see those arrows indicating the direction of the wind. So we're seeing the air flow from the Pacific kind of down south, and then it does swoop up into Western Washington, or Puget Sound kind of heading from south to north. But overall, the pattern is we call this onshore flow. This is when we see air moving from the Pacific onshore. What we see offshore flow is the flip of that. That's what happens when we see the air flowing from east to west. And then when it flows over the Cascades and heads downhill, that is when we see the wind actually picking up in those foothill areas. That's what we saw with the bomb cyclone, is that downslope wind, and that tends to be a lot stronger for those places like Issaquah, Enumclaw. That's not what we're seeing tomorrow. That does not mean the wind will not be strong, but what that tells me is that some of those more wind-prone areas, when we see the offshore flow wind, won't see that same type of wind, so hopefully won't be quite as bad for those areas. That being said, it is going to be blustery across the board tomorrow. 30, 40, even 50-mile-per-hour gusts are possible. We also had some questions about Bonnie Lake impacts. I want to circle back and show you the question or the Futurecast for tomorrow afternoon. What I'm seeing here is everywhere across South Sound, you're tapping into most of that moisture. So really King County and southward, it's not just Bonnie Lake, it's Tacoma, it's Olympia, it's Chehalis, all of our South counties, you are going to see the heaviest of rain for tomorrow. So that's going to be one of the biggest things I'm keeping an eye on down to the south is rain potential. We also had a question about debris flows and that landslide risk. This is going to be a widespread issue. So basically what we see with debris flows is when the ground gets so saturated, it just fills up like a cup and it tips over and it drags everything with it. And then when we talk about burn scar areas, that it's especially severe in burn scar areas because what happens is the fire comes, it burns everything on the surface, all that vegetation, the roots are gone. So when we have the ground that becomes saturated, and then it wants to go somewhere, it doesn't have anything to grip onto because all that vegetation is gone. So it's more prone for falling and flowing, if you will. So if you're in a burn scar area, you are definitely at risk. If you have any hills, if you live on a hill or behind a hill or in front of a hill, you're in one of those debris flow prone areas. So just a good thing to keep in mind, keep an eye out and take those precautions. Maybe go spend the night at a friend's house if you feel so inclined. Okay, so those were some of our viewer questions. I do want to get to some atmospheric river explanations because I think this is a really important piece of the puzzle, and I've been getting a lot of questions about it recently of what is an atmospheric river. So let's quickly just do an overview and let's talk about it. So let's take this full once again. So what is an atmospheric river? It is similar to an actual river, but it's just going to be in the sky. It's a large band of narrow, continuous moisture up in the sky. It taps into that moisture out of the Pacific, and basically it flows on land and it brings a significant amount of rain in a short period of time. So it's a giant band of water vapor on average anywhere from 200 to 400 miles wide, and it pushes inland. And that's what we see when I want to show you the Futurecast of what we're expecting here. So this is what we're expecting this week. You can quite literally see it looks like a fire hose just projected at the northwest. That is why we classify this as an atmospheric river, is because it's a very clear projection of that precipitation. Now, I went and pulled some data and atmospheric rivers in the Northwest. Here in the Pacific Northwest, they're anywhere from 250 to 375 miles wide. They can be 1,000 miles long, bigger than the Amazon River. And on the West Coast, they're actually really, really important. I've spent most of my career, in fact, my entire career, living and working along the entire West Coast. So I've seen the impacts of atmospheric rivers along the West Coast. This is a West Coast phenomenon. But basically, they can be good. They can also be really bad. But atmospheric rivers can account for 30 to 50% of our precipitation and 90% of our water vapor on the West Coast. So they bring a lot of rain to the West Coast, and they can be good if they're weaker. But when they get strong like this and it's too much rain too fast, that's when we start to see those concerns. So you're saying, okay, but Leah, where did this come from? This actually was created technically in 2019. So this is a relatively recent term. And scientists have been doing a lot of work to put context to atmospheric rivers. When we talk about tornadoes, we have our enhanced Fujita scale, so up to an EF5 tornado. So if I say EF1, you know that's weak. If I say EF5, you know that's strong. Same thing with hurricanes. Category 1, Category 5. They wanted to do that with an atmospheric river as well. So they've been working and actually started measuring. They're going to be doing it up here in the Northwest. This is out of UC San Diego, Scripps Institution of Oceanography. They send weather balloons. They send our hurricane hunter planes into atmospheric rivers to measure the strength because they want to know how strong are they, and then how much of an impact does that have? So there is a lot of really recent research coming out about atmospheric rivers to understand these and put some context into them, put that scale into them. What we're expecting as we head into this atmospheric river is actually going to be an AR4. So it goes all the way up to an AR5. Let me see if I can pull that visual up for you. I may not get to it in time. But an AR4 is what we're expecting here. Okay, so let me take this full for you. So a closer look at what that is going to bring. You can see here that, let me see if I can zoom it in a little more. Yep, so an AR4, that orange color, right on that Washington-Oregon border. So that's a little bit of context into what an atmospheric river is. That was a lot of context into the next couple of days. Thank you for sticking with me for the last half hour. We're going to be doing this all week long at 8 p.m. and 3 p.m. as well. So stay with us on King 5 Plus as we bring you the latest on these first alert weather days. Thanks for sticking with me.